So, about a week or so ago, I did the Bird Up deck profile, which, for me, is doing actually good. That video is actually, got 20-ish views, which is decent for one of my videos that hadn't been up for more than a year. My average view count is like 7. So, it's pretty nice. If any of y'all that watched that previous video watch this, thanks. Hope to keep you coming back for more. So, this is Dragon Link. If you don't know what the deck does, it is a link-based deck that your main focus now, anyway, is basically it's a powerful deck that beats the crap out of your opponent and doesn't care. Oh look, you have tiny monster in graveyard. I banish, I beat the crap out of you. That is essentially what it says. So, starting off, we have Chaos Dragon, Levianeer, Levianeer, whatever you want to call him. Chaos Dragon Levi is fine. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters from your graveyard. When summoned this way, you can activate this effect. Apply the following effect based on the attributes used to summon this monster. Only light monsters. Yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen. Special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense position. Only dark monsters. Yeah, that's very likely. Shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into their deck. Both light and dark monsters. Yeah, that's also possible. Destroy up to 2 cards on the field. Doesn't have to be just their field. You can destroy your own if you wanted to as well. Does not matter. You can only use this effect of Chaos Dragon Levi once per turn, which is pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure this is a once type thing when it is summoned. So yeah. I'll get to the beasties in a second. Absolute Dragon. If you control a rocket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon an Absolute Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 rocket monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Absolute Dragon once per turn. So in other words, if it is destroyed on the field and sent to the graveyard, if it is discarded and sent to the graveyard, if it is sent to the graveyard, not destroyed, doesn't matter. If it is sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter how, you get to add a rocket monster. Pretty good. Noctivision Dragon. The effects are actually in the wrong damn order, honestly. This one should be up here. This one should be down here. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-down card you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect. Also, your opponent cannot target face-down cards with card effects for the rest of this turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Noctivision Dragon once per turn. If a dark monster is special summoned, or dark dragon monster, my bad, is special summoned to your field, except during damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can draw 1 card. I always forget to trigger this effect. Every single time I forget to trigger this effect. Doesn't matter if I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this and then link and then I'll draw a card. Something happens, it distracts me, and I forget to trigger. I missed the trigger. So, yeah. Need to be aware of that, and, you need to pay attention to it. Lubellion. I play 2 Lubellion. Why are you over there? For the bestial package, I play 2 Lebellion, 1 Saronir, whatever, 1 Baldric, thinking about putting him to 2. 3 Druisworm, thinking about putting this to 2 and putting Baldric to 2. And 3 Magnemite. So, starting off with Lebellion. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard. You can summon it from your hand or graveyard by attributing 1 level 6 or higher dragon monster. You can only special summon Lebellion once per turn this way. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, add 1 bestial monster from your deck to your hand, except Lebellion himself. So, you know, that's very useful. He is a, he's kind of like a bird call, I guess. If you want to call it that. Dragon call, whatever. During the main phase, you can place 1 branded continuous spell or trap from your deck face up in your field. Or on your side of the field, in your spell and card zone. You can only use each effect of Lebellion once per turn. So, the effect to add, or the effect to get a continuous branded spell or trap is primarily used for branded regain and branded beast. Regain, I'll get to that in a minute, and beast is, yeah. Moving on to Saronir. All the bestials except for Lebellion have the same exact effect when it comes to their summoning conditions. He can't be normal summoner set, and he must be special summoned by attributing 1 level 6 or higher dragon monster, dark dragon monster specifically. All the others have the same exact effect. You can target 1 light or dark monster in either graveyard and banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. This is a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, again, if it is sent to the graveyard, does not matter how, you can send 1 bestial monster or 1 branded spell trap from your deck to your graveyard, except Saronir. This is a Foolish Burial and a Foolish Burial Goods, which is pretty nice. You can only use each effect once per turn. Yeah. I've thought about playing him at 2, but then once I read the effect of Baldric, it's like, yeah, I'd rather play Baldric at 2. Target 1 light or dark monster in either graveyard, banish it. If you do, blah blah blah. If your opponent special summons a ritual, fusion, synchro, exes, and or linked monster, except during Dem Step, you can tribute 1 other light or dark monster, then target 1 of those special summon monsters and banish it. It doesn't destroy, it banishes. So, yeah. You only use each effect once per turn. The fact that it has ritual is kind of weird. Fusion, Synchro, Exes, and Link, I expect, but to have ritual? Yeah, it has all the special summon, like, all the odd colored cards or whatever, you know, like extra deck cards covered, pretty much. Rituals, honestly, I've always thought that they should be in the extra deck. I've always thought that ritual monsters should be in the extra deck, and they should be alongside fusions and synchros. That's just my take on it. It makes more sense. It really does. But then they would have to literally rework the entire ritual system, but, you know, it's whatever. Moving on to Druisworm. Target 1 light or dark monster in either graveyard, banish it. If you do, special on this card. Already know that. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, this is specific. From the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. It doesn't destroy, it sends. So, Baldric banishes. Druisworm sends to the graveyard. So they're pretty good. And, you know, then you got Saronir, which is a Foolish Burial. Which is okay. Then we got Magnamut here. Target one light or dark monster, blah blah blah. If this card is special summoned, okay? If this card is special summoned, meaning hand, deck, graveyard, banish zone. If it is special summoned, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, add one dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Magnamut himself. Now, if you do not banish your Libellion, then you can get him back from the graveyard when you send him for calls. This will let you get back any of your dragon monsters that are in the graveyard or from your deck. Let's say, for example, Seals is in your graveyard. You can get Seals back to your extra deck. Because extra deck monsters, when they're added to your hand, go back to the extra deck instead of your hand. Which is nice. I'm just waiting on them to make a bestial that does it for other cards. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to make it where it, they could maybe make one that requires 2 light and dark monster, or 1 light and a dark monster from your graveyard, and then you can add a, add a monster back to your deck, or shuffle a monster back into your deck or something, Instead of just dragon monsters, it can be any monsters, or any card, I'm just kind of waiting on them to do something like that. I'm not sure that they ever would, but you never know. So I'm going to go ahead and put these right here. Starlight, you already know about. That one, and then... yeah, I'll leave him there. So, Black and White Dragon. Black Dragon cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light monster from your graveyard. You can only special summon 1 Black Dragon. You can only special summon Black Dragon, whatever your name is, once per turn this way. If this card was sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 White Dragon from your deck to your hand. The White Dragon is the exact opposite. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add the Black Dragon. So I'm not 100% sure why these are still limited to 1, because they're not really that special, honestly. I mean, they're really not that special. It's just, they're not that special. Their effects don't really do much. Banish a dark monster to special summon the light monster. Banish a light monster to special summon the dark monster. Starliege. Where'd it go? Right there. Starliege. God damn it. If you can send any number of dragon monsters from your hand and or face up on the field to the graveyard, add 1 dragon monster to your hand whose level totals the equal original level of those cards sent. So, in other words, if you have 2 level 4s in your hand and you send both of them, you can add a level 8. Okay. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 level 8 light or dark dragon monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So we can get Libellion back, because he's level 8. So, yeah. You play 3 of those, because it's pretty much your starter. That's kind of your starter there. Then we got Rocket Recharger. If a dark monster you control that was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 of those destroyed monsters. Special summon 1 dark monster from your graveyard with a different original name than that targeted monster. That is a lot of text for an effect that says Monster A got destroyed, target Monster A when it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, and summon Monster B. A lot of text for an effect. You can only use this effect of Rocket Recharger once per turn. While you control a dark monster special summoned from the extra deck, your opponent cannot trigger this card for attacks. So, yeah. It'd be nice if this was a better protector, but it's not. So, it's whatever. Auto rocket. Damn it. Auto rocket dragon. When a link monster effect is activated that targets this card, this face-up card on the field. Quick effect: you can destroy this card, which seems kind of counterintuitive. Send one spell or trap on the field to the graveyard. During the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard because it was destroyed by card effect, because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect, which is, again, a lot of friggin' text for a effect. You can special summon one rocket monster from your deck except Auto Rocket Dragon. You can only use each effect of Auto Rocket Dragon once per turn. So, Konami loves to think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Players actually read their frickin' cards. We don't read our damn cards. How long is it going to take them to realize, at least over in TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players don't read cards. They never read card effects. If they did, when you're playing Master Duel and you have a card that says cannot be targeted by card effects, your opponent wouldn't sit there and try to target it with frickin' access code talker. Ask me how I know. So, here's how this should read, okay? During the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard by battle or card effect, you can special summon one rocket monster from your deck. Okay? During the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard or destroyed by battle or card effect, then, yeah. You don't have to have the... If this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you don't have to have all that crap. You just need to have it to where if it says if it was destroyed by battle or card effect, then summon one rocket monster from your deck. That's all it really needs to do. You don't need all the extra crap. If it was destroyed by battle or card effect on the field, special summon one rocket monster. Simple. Like, honestly, it is so freaking simple. Moving on. Anyway. Rocket Tracer. Quick effect. Target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one rocket monster from your deck, except Rocket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except dark monsters. You can only use each effect once per turn, or this effect once per turn. Okay. Nothing special there. Rocket Synchron. I've actually started using this more and more when I play, and it's pretty decent. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 5 or higher dark dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but negate its effect. Destroy it during the end phase. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except dark monsters. Okay. The words "you can" are optional. You do not have to activate this, by the way. If it says "you can," you don't have to use it. So, moving on to the spells. We got one Allure of Darkness here. I run 3 of them. Yeah. So, get back down here. Allure of Darkness. Draw 2 cards and banish one dark monster from your hand, or if you do not have any in your hand, send your entire hand to the graveyard. Have you seen the deck? There's a total of 6 light monsters in this entire deck. Of course, if you have luck like mine, then you're going to draw all 6 of the light monsters. Or, you know, you're going to draw nothing but spell cards. So, yeah. This helps with consistency a bit, but, you know, it's kind of annoying when it backfires. But whatever. Chaos Space. Send one light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add one light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8 and with a different attribute than the monster. Again, a lot of text for something that's set that should be send 1 light monster from your hand to the graveyard, add 1 dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set with a different name from level 4 to 8. And then split, it says send 1 dark monster, add 1 light monster. So, you know. Or, you know, send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, add 1 monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. Light, add a dark. Dark, add a light. You know, something simple. But no, it has to be complicated because, again, Konami thinks that we actually read our freaking cards. So, I know I don't usually read my cards because I usually memorize them. When I play the deck more, like, the more I play the deck, the more I memorize it, and I memorize my effects, so, yeah. Anyway, moving on. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished light or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set. Place that monster on the bottom of the deck, and then draw 1 card. So this is your recursion for Rebellion. I use it a lot for Rebellion. Cast space is quite useful. I've considered dropping it to 2. Because while useful, it is also kind of a brick. When, you know, you have Luck of Me and you draw 3 of them and no monsters. Or you draw 2 of them and no monsters. Yeah. That's what I usually end up doing. Moving on though. Quick Launch. Play it at 3. It is a non-once per turn, just like Allure of Darkness, by the way. Allure of Darkness is not once per turn. Cast space, I'm pretty sure, is once per turn. Yes, once per turn. So, quick effect for Quick Launch. It is a quick play. Special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. This is a great card because you can go quick effect or quick play. You can actually use it like a trap if you want to. You can set it and then use it on your opponent's turn, so you have something to defend yourself. But you can play this, special summon 1, special summon Tracer, for example. And then, if you have Absoluter, for example, you can special summon Absoluter, pop Absoluter with Tracer. Then you have a monster in a graveyard. Special summon a level 4 rocket, your auto rocket dragon, or whatever. Rocket recharger, whatever it is. And then you can make a play to go into one of your synchro teams. And you will actually have a tuner for it. So, yeah. I played at 3. Yeah, at 3. Card that I skipped over. Harpy's Feather Duster. You can replace this with any card that you want. I have it in here just because I like having a board breaker. Or board wipe. That is not, you know, kind of thinking about putting Raigeki in there as well. Taking out 1 cast space, putting in 1 Raigeki. That would be useful. Especially if I could find a way to actually search it. But, yeah. So, moving on. Branded Regain. If a light or dark monster is banished, except during damage step, you can target one of those monsters and place that monster on the bottom of the deck, and then you draw a card. You can only use this effect of Branded Regain once per turn. Once per turn, if your opponent normal summon or special summon a monster, except during damage step, you can target one of your bestial monsters or bestial monsters in your graveyard, special summon it. This is confusing because then it says you can only activate this effect of Branded Regain once per chain. So up here it says once per turn if your opponent does, and then down here it's once per chain. So is this assuming you can use multiple because it's soft once per turn? Is this making it to where you can use it, like you can only use the effect once per chain, but yet once per turn? Like if you have 2 of them, can you use both of them? You know, 1 on one chain and 1 on the other? Like, how do you do that? Like, how does that work? You know, it's kind of confusing, but, you know, it's whatever. Boot sector launch. All rocket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. You can activate one of these effects. Special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your hand in defense position, which is always nice. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters up with different names from your graveyard in defense position up to the difference, which is kind of nice. Dragon Ravine is actually like one of the more useless cards in here, in a way. Because its effect isn't really that great. But it's also, you know, kind of useful at times. It's one of those cards, like, you could drop it if you really wanted to. But if you drop it, you're going to wish you had it. Because you'll run into a niche situation where you actually need one. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card from your hand, then activate one of these effects. Add a level 4 or lower Dragoon monster from your deck to your hand, which is useless to you. Send 1 dragon monster from your deck to your graveyard. That is the entire reason right there. Send a dragon monster from your deck to your graveyard. That is all it is Foolish Burial. Then, we only play 4 traps. Infinite Impermanence. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Negate its effect until the end of this turn. Then, if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution for the rest of this turn, all spell traps and effects in this column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this from your hand. This is an actual hand trap. A legitimate hand trap. So, yeah. Play at 3. Branded Beast. I've considered bumping this up to 2, but then again, I don't know. Once per turn during the main phase, if you control a bestial monster, you contribute 1 dragon monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. It does not negate, it just destroys. During the end phase, you can target 1 branded continuous spell or trap in your graveyard and place it face up on your field. This is how you get regained back once it's been destroyed, because it will get popped. It will be, if people are actually smart, they will target that and they will pop it every time. So, yeah, that's the main deck. Let's get on to the extra deck. These 2 right here are the newest cards from Cyberstorm Access. And they are incredibly broken. Well, Chaos Android is incredibly broken, but this Vader is almost as broken. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner dragon monsters. Attack 3500, defense 3500, synchro level 10, 3500 beat stick, and a 3500 defense wall. Okay. You can target 1 banished light or dark monster. Does not say who has to control it. Special summon it to your field. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can target 1 banished card. Okay, card. Shuffle it into the deck. Then, if it was shuffled into your deck, destroy that monster. If it was shuffled into your opponent's deck, negate that activated effect. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, not that busted. It is the ugliest son of a bitch on the planet. Like, it has the face that not even a mother could love. Honestly. Unless she was blind, then, you know, it might be able to, yeah. But this is the ugliest dragon I think I have ever seen. So, yeah. Meanwhile, this is one of the coolest cards that I've seen. And this has a very awesome effect that will make this very broken. 3500 attack, 2800 defense, synchro level 10. 1 tuner, plus 1 or more non-tuner, light or dark monsters. Dark Worlds are going to play the hell out of this, I'm sure. Dark decks are going to play the hell out of it. If you can get a light deck, to play this, it'll be pretty good too. Light and dark decks, like, yeah. For this card, Synchro Summon, you can treat one light or dark monster you control as a tuner. If this card is special summoned, you can target one card on the field and banish it. This card gains these effects based on the original attribute of the material used for its summoning. If you use the light monster, again, you play 6. Synchro monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, or activated monster effects. If you use dark monsters, have you seen the deck? Every monster except for 6 of them is dark. So you're guaranteed to get this. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. You're guaranteed to get that. Almost 100%. If you can manage to get this in this particular deck, if you can manage to get this with just the light part, then I don't know what to say. So, yeah. When this is summoned, you banish a card on the field. And you don't even need an actual tuner to summon this card, and it's 3,500 attack points. You're guaranteed to get the cannot be destroyed by battle. Almost 100% guarantee it. Light monsters, if you use that, synchro monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated card effect or monster effects. Yeah. Baron Defleur, whatever. Bayroni, whatever. French card. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Generic as hell. 3,000, 2,400, level 10, and it's a win this time. Once per turn, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Once while face up on the field, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, negate. This is a once while face up on the field. So you have to summon another one of him in order to, I guess that's a girl. Or dude, not a girl. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, you have to summon another one of this card in order to actually use the effect again, which is, whatever. You can negate the activation if you do destroy the card. You can only use the previous effect of Baron de Fleur once per turn. Once per turn, during standby phase, you can target one level 9 or lower monster in your graveyard. Return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon that monster. You can get Lebellion back by that effect. So, yeah. That's that for you. Borreload Savage Dragon. That's... The whole Borreload is, weird. Anyway, Savage Dragon. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. This is generic, and it's a dark monster, level 8, 3,000, 2,500. Has more defense than Baron de Fleur, who is 2 levels higher. If this card is synchro summoned, you can equip 1 link monster from your graveyard to this card. And if you do, place a Borrel counter on this card for each link rating. So, essentially, you use Apollo, USA, or Appaloosa, whatever you want to call her, to do something else to make access code, for example, or Borrel End Dragon, which we'll get to in a second. And then you can synchro summon into Savage here, and you get a you get a 4 counter negation, but it gains attack based on the original attack of the link monster, equal half that. But damn it, I can't even talk. This card gains attack equal to half of that monster equipped to it by its effect. Appaloosa doesn't have any attack points, so you're kind of screwed if you equip her, but, you know, whatever. Your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect. You can remove one Boral counter from this card, negate that activation. You can only use this effect of Boral Load Savage Dragon once per turn. Moving on to the Link monsters. Boral End Dragon. 3,500 attack. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also, neither player can target this card with monster effects. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Quick effect, you can target one effect monster on the field and one rocket monster in your graveyard. Negate the effect of that monster on the field, and if you do, special summon that monster from the graveyard. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this is essentially your Link boss monster. It is a Link 5, and it's pretty damn good. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. So, monster effects, you can't target, neither player can target this with monster effects. This card can also attack all of your opponent's monsters once per turn, or once each. And you can target a monster, negate the effects, and then special summon a rocket monster. Pretty freaking cool. And it's pretty easy to get out, too. You can get it out within 2 turns. Excuse me. Boral Sword Dragon. 3,000, Link 4. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense. Also, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. That right there kind of confuses the crap out of me because I'm pretty sure there's only one battle phase. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effect in response to this effect's activation. Once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate this effect. Until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to half that monster's current attack. And if it does, that monster's current attack is halved. So, if you have, your opponent has a monster with, let's just say, 15,000 attack points, you can make this card gain 7,000 attack points and make that one lose 7,000 attack points. This is going to be 3,000 attack points higher. So, yeah. You're definitely going to win the fight. And, you know, you can only do that like once per turn. But this cannot be destroyed by battle, so you're fine. Access code talker. I'm pretty sure I went into detail about this in my other video. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. If this card is Link Summoned, you can target one Link monster that was used as material for its Link Summon in your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to that monster's Link rating times 1,000. So, if you can use Apollo to make access code, then it gains 4,000. If you can use Boral In for whatever reason you would want to make access code, it gains 4,000 attack. So, yeah. I guess if you get a Link 3 and him on the field, you can make access code and have 5,000 extra attack points, making him let's see, 7,300 or 8,300. Yeah, 7,300. So, yeah. You can banish one Link monster from your field or graveyard, destroy one card your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot banish monsters with the same attribute to activate this card effect. So, instead of putting a once per turn on this, they made it to where you can only use one dark, then one light, then one wind, one earth, and so on and so forth. You know, you can only use one attribute and then you can't activate that effect anymore. So you have to play a variety of Link Monster attributes in your extra deck in order to use it multiple times. Apollo, or Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. So, yeah. I like this art. I really do. I like it a lot better than the original art form. I don't know why. It just looks cooler to me. You can only control one Apollo USA, Bow of the Goddess. The original attack of this card becomes 800 times the number of Link material used for its Link summoning. Once per chain, you can make this card lose once per chain when your opponent activates a monster effect, specifically monster effect. Quick effect, you can make this card lose 800 attack points, and if you do, negate that activation. So if you're going to be summoning more than 5 times, make this your 4th. If you can, make it your 4th summon. And it's very easy to make. You can use 2 Link 2s, or you can use 4 Link 1s or normal monsters. It doesn't matter. And in the bird up deck, you can actually make this have 5 negations. So it's actually nice. Triple Burst Dragon. Also, you can't use tokens for Apollo. 2 monsters with 2+ monsters with different names, except tokens. Triple Burst Dragon, 2 monsters, except tokens. Once per turn, during the damage step, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage during your main phase. Set the turn this card was special summoned. You contribute this card, then target 1 Link 2 or lower in your graveyard and special summon it. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster from your hand. So that's pretty cool. And it gives you the ability to make at least a Link 2, which is kind of nice. Nightmare Unicorn, because Unicorn, I don't really care that much for this card. It's here for those niche situations where it comes in handy. But other than that, it's just to fill a spot, really. 2 monsters with different names. So it's a Link 3. You just need, a Link 2 and a Link 1, or a Link 2 and 1 regular monster on the field. If this card is Link Summon, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card on the field and shuffle it into the deck. Doesn't destroy, doesn't send to the graveyard, it shuffles it into the deck, which is neat. Then, if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Unicorn once per turn. While any co-linked Nightmare monsters are on the field, for your normal draw in your draw phase, you draw 1 card for each different name among those co-linked Nightmare monsters instead of just drawing 1 card. So in other words, if you have Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, and Nightmare Phoenix on the field, you draw 4 cards instead of just 1. If they're all co-linked. Speaking of Cerberus, 2 monsters with different names. If this card is Link Summoned, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone, destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Cerberus once per turn. Co-linked monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effect. Pretty neat. Dragunity Romulus. Dragunity Knight Romulus, my bad. 2 dragon and or winged beast monsters, except for tokens. If this card is Link Summon, you can add 1 Dragunity spell trap or Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand. This is literally just a search for Dragon Ravine. That is it. If a dragon monster is special summoned from the extra deck to a zone this card points to, except during damage step, you can special summon 1 dragon or winged beast monster from your hand in defense position. Which is kind of cool, because you can actually use this to special summon your extra deck monster and then special summon Magnemite. But for the rest of this turn, its effects, if any, are negated, and it cannot be used as link material. You only use each effect of Dragonity Knight Romulus once per turn. So, you can special summon out any of your monsters, any of your dragons, which is all you play, really. And then, yeah. You can use it to search and do stuff. IP Master right now. 2 non-link monsters. Very simple to do, just have 2 regular monsters on your field. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Link summon 1 link monster using material you control, including this card, and you can only use that once per turn. A link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is kind of nice. Then you got seals. It seals 2 dragon monsters once per opponent turn. If this card is in the extra monster zone, quick effect, you can tribute 1 monster from your hand or on the field. Return 1 face-up card on the field to the hand. So, if they special summon out Mirror Jade, quick effect, tribute this, special summon out another monster before they have the ability to use its effect. Or if they go to trigger that effect, or they go to attack with it, then you can trigger this effect. Then, you know, they can follow it with their own quick effect, but yeah. You can get Magnemite from your deck to your side of the field easy with this. Its attack and defense becomes 0. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, yeah. The only reason this is in here is because it adds boot sector launch. Honestly. You're not using it for the attack. That's for damn sure. If this card is link summon, you can add 1 boot sector launch from your deck to your hand. You can target 1 face-up monster you control and 1 rocket monster in your graveyard. Destroy that monster on the field, and if you do, add that other monster from your graveyard to your hand. Why it has to be so long and it can't just say add that monster from your graveyard to your hand? Like, they add other in there just for reasons. You only use the effect of Striker Dragon once per turn. So, Striker Dragon is at 1, and I don't really know why. I really do not understand why it is at 1. It needs to be at 3. It deserves to be at 3. It's not that freaking useful. Like, it really doesn't matter. So, you know. For the side deck, this is something that I don't run in the TCG. My side deck for the TCG is a hell of a lot different than it is in game. So, yeah. In game, we have 3 Drone Lockbird, 3 Dark Roar, 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Triple Tactic, and 3 Cyclone. So, yeah. I want to show you real quick just how easy it is to get Chaos Angel on the field. Okay. Now, the deck that I'm going to be playing against, and I'll make another video maybe explaining more about this game, but the deck that I'm going to be testing against is literally just a... You're just going to, like, you know, it's made for you to walk all over, basically. So, Allure of Darkness, draw 2. I will finish that one. Do that. Use this. 6 and that. Add Magnemite. Special summon Magnemite. Activate this effect. Sure, why not? And then do that. And there you go, you have Chaos Angel on the field right out the bat. Like, instantly. First turn, 3500 beat stick. And because I use a light and a dark, I get both effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle, and is unaffected by monster effects from your opponent. So, that is actually pretty insane. Let's do one more. See, this makes it even better. Quick launch. Go tuner. So, go Dragon Ravine. And then discard one card. Let's go discard you. And then send Jurisworm. And banish one. And now I have a choice of which card I actually want to go into. I can go into Barone, I can go into Despater, which I'm going to. And send that one. Now I get this one back. And now I can, you know, Link Summon. Striker Dragon, Boot Sector. Ta-da! I mean, you know, it's that easy to get something on the field. First turn now. One more. Good old Allure of Darkness. Draw 2. And banish that one. Do that, and then I'm gonna go Chaos Space. Send that to grave, get Lebellion. Send Lebellion, add Magnemite. Special Magnemite by banishing that one. Yes. Chaos Angel. There we go. And now I can get my Lebellion back. And then set one. So there we go. Last one. Quick launch. So this is kind of like, it's one of those deals where it's like, you know, you could do a couple different plays here, honestly. You could normal summon this, send this to get Magnemite, and then do that, or you could just, you know, use this to pop itself, summon that. Banish one. Normal summon. Chaos Angel. And then you have the synchro material for a level 5. Or you can, you know, do IP Masquerena, which I would do. And now you just banish one. And there you go. Now you have follow-up play. You have a monster that makes it to where your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, and synchro monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. It's that simple. So yeah. That's why I think this deck going forward is going to be kind of broken, and any deck that, well, any bestial deck, so branded is going to be pretty damn good now, and it's going to be even better actually. Because it can already make Barone and, like, yeah. This is going to be one of those cards that's played in a lot of different extra decks because it is so easy to get out. I mean, you do not need a tuner for it. so it is easy to get out. I kind of see this card within a year either being limited or being banned. Because if you put 3 of these in an extra deck, you can literally get 3 of them out, no problem whatsoever. I almost guarantee it, 3 turns, you're going to get it out. No problem. This is going to be one of those that just, yeah. It's a synchro card that is trying to be like either a Link or an Xyz or a Fusion. So, yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. It's already almost an hour long. If you made it to this point in the video, thanks for watching and listening to me speak gibberish. Hit the like button, leave a comment, you know, the usual, all the notification stuff. Hit the little bell icon, subscribe, comment, like. What else am I forgetting? I don't know, but you know, you've heard it 100,000 times, I'm sure. But yeah, anyway, I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye for now.